Yes, dear students, our lecture today is about the major theories and methodologies in English language teaching. What are the methods that you use inside the classroom to teach English? Okay, here are different methods. Let's look at the main one, the main methodologies. Grammar Translation Method, GTM. What is the grammar translation method? It is a traditional method of teaching foreign languages that focuses on explicit teaching of grammar. They teach grammar explicitly. They teach grammar rules. Then translation between the target language, English, and the learner's mother tongue. In our situation is Arabic. Development of reading and writing skills. Accuracy over fluency. They seek only accuracy rather than fluency. It does not mean that they ignore fluency, but fluency does not mean that much. Does not have that much attention or focus. So grammar translation method was originally used to teach Latin and Greek, but later became widely applied in English language teaching, especially in academic and examination oriented context. So if you look at a very summary of this, main characteristics of grammar translation method is the feature of it, language of instruction. It's mostly the mother tongue L1. Focus, grammar rules and vocabulary memorization. Skills emphasize reading and writing. Role of teacher, authority and rule giver. Role of students, passive learners, rule appliers. Speaking and listening, minimal or absent. Error correction, immediate and explicit. Type teaching procedures in grammar translation method. A typical grammar translation lesson follows these steps: presentation of grammar rule, list of vocabulary items, model sentences, then translation practice, then written exercises. The teacher explain the rules in the student's native language, which is Arabic. They explain grammar in Arabic. Now new words are given with direct translation. Students illustrate the grammar rule. Students translate sentence or text from English L1. Written exercises. Students apply rules through drills and translation tasks. Example of grammar translation method: teaching past simple. The simple past is used giving the rule in L1. The form subject past tense, ed, irregular verb. Examples: I visited the doctor yesterday. She wrote a report last night. These are examples. Vocabulary list: visit yazur, write yaktub, yesterday ams. Advantages and limitation of grammar translation method. It helps learners understand complex grammar structures. Useful in exam-oriented educational system. Effective for adult learners and academic reading. Builds strong translation and analytical skills. What are the limitations of grammar translation methods? Neglects speaking and listening. Limited communicative competence. Can be boring if overused. Does not reflect real life language use. Activities. You need to do these activities. Read the sentences and identify the tense used. Underline the verb, name the tense, translate the sentence into your mother tongue. You need to do activity 2, activity 3, activity 4, activity 5, activity 6. And then activity, you need to do all these activities. Okay, then we come to audio lingual method. What is it? Task based. Task based language teaching is an approach to language teaching that emphasizes using language to complete meaningful tasks rather than task based language teaching, TBLT, rather than studying grammatical forms in isolation. In this approach, learners develop language ability through communication, communication, problem solving, and collaboration. Language is treated as a means of achieve real life goals, not merely as a set of rules to be memorized. In task-based language teaching, learners first concentrate on meaning and successful task completion. Reflection on language form. Task place after the task takes place after the task, when given the task, and then when learners analyze how language was used, this sequence reflects how language is naturally acquired and used in real life context. What are the key features of task-based language learning, language teaching? Tasks are the core unit. A task is an activity in which learners use language to achieve a clearly defined outcome, such as making a plan, solving a problem, reaching a group decision. Each task typically includes a goal, input, a procedure, and an output. What learners must achieve: this is a goal, information, text, or prompts, steps to complete the task, and then a product, decision, or presentation. Success in task-based language teaching is measured primarily by taking completion and communicative effectiveness rather than grammatical accuracy alone. In real world relevance. Tasks are designed to reflect authentic real-life situation. For example, planning a trip, ordering food, solving community or school-related problems, conducting interviews or survey. Real-world relevance increases learner motivation and helps students see the practical value of English beyond the classroom. But we'll focus on meaning first, form later. Learners communicate freely to express ideas and solve problems. Grammar correction is delayed, not ignored. After the task, the teacher draws attention to useful grammatical structures, vocabulary, and expressions that emerge naturally. Learners reflect on how language helped them achieve the task. What are the strengths of task-based language teaching? High learner engagement. Learners are actively involved in communication. Tasks promote interaction and collaboration. Learning feels purposeful and meaningful. Encourages problem solving. Learners analyze information and evaluate options. They negotiate meaning and make decisions together. Critical thinking skills develop alongside language skills. Natural language use. Language is used spontaneously. Communication closely resembles real-life interaction. Fluency develops naturally through repeated task practice. What are the limitations of it? Difficulty in assessment. It's very difficult to assess it. Measuring language development objectively can be challenging. Assessment often emphasizes task outcome rather than linguistic accuracy. Need for careful task design. Poorly designed tasks may confuse learners. Tasks must be appropriate for learners' proficiency levels and learning goals. Uneven grammar coverage. Some grammatical structures may occur frequently. Others may not appear unless teachers intentionally design tasks to elicit them. Example of classroom, using it in the classroom. Planning a class trip. Students work in groups. The goal: to plan a one-day class trip and present their plan to the class. In instructions, decide on the destination, choose transportation, calculate cost per student, create a simple schedule, justify their choices. Language skill practiced. Speaking, discussion and negotiation, listening, understanding group members, reading, searching for information if materials are provided, writing notes or a brief plan summary. A task cycle. Pre-task phase before introduce the topic, class trip, pre-teach key vocabulary, budget, destination, transportation, schedule. Provide a short model or example. Pre-task exercise. Match the words with their meaning. Budget, destination, transportation, schedule. During task phase, work collaboratively in groups, discuss ideas and negotiate decisions, focus on meaning rather than grammatical accuracy. Teacher role, observe and monitor group work, take notes on language use, avoid interrupting communication. Post-task, language focus phase, use activity, grammar awareness, follow-up activity and grammar awareness. Exercise 1, identify language forms. Students underline example of future forms: will, going to, modal verb should, can, must, conditional, and so on. Which expressions help you make decision? Which grammar structure were used most frequently? Then you need to do all these activities about task-based language teaching. Okay, this is the end of our lecture today. Thank you very much. I'll see you next lecture inshallah.